Hi guys, so this is how I currently do my Zoom calls, TV interviews, and stream. This camera looks pretty clear, and I bet you it's a little bit different from what you're using right now for yourself and where the journey started. So I'll show you a previous camera, and this is what I used to use from the very outset. I'll tell you what this is, what the setup is, and why I had to change it. I think you can pretty much figure that out. I'm using the initial audio that I was using back then and the initial camera that I was using back then, and I thought this wasn't good enough, so I upgraded to this. And this is something else that I got, and you can see the audio is different, probably slightly better, and then the camera is also a little bit better as well. And then I finally moved to this, and this is the latest setup, which is a little bit more costly but also slightly better. In fact, that's not entirely true, because in all those setups I've also added something else that is known to improve the quality of videos. And to illustrate what that is, it's lighting. And we'll start with this particular. I'll actually look at it at the end of the view. So you can, these are the three cameras side by side. I'm using the audio from the current setup I'm using, and you can clearly see, okay, can you tell a difference between the three? I can, I don't know, I'm sure you can as well, but maybe just leave a comment. Yeah, so let's start with the very first one. This is the native camera from my HP Envy laptop X360, which I bought in 2018. It has, it's a pretty good laptop. I've upgraded it quite a bit. It has Core i7 8th generation. I've put up the RAM to 16 GBs. I upgraded to SSD. I bought an SSD myself and installed. And by the way, if you're using a hard disk drive, please move. It will save you tons of time. It's super expensive to get it all the way to Kenya because shipping doubles the cost. But getting an SSD onto your machine is a big thing. So this was a pretty decent laptop, and this was the camera that came with it, and that's the audio that comes natively. But of course, you can tell immediately there's a problem with this, and so I changed a little bit to this camera. So I bought a couple of webcams, actually two, not from off Jumia. Jumia is a mobile platform in Kenya, more like Amazon, Amazon-ish. But then we get a lot of Chinese products. So I bought two. One was pretty bad, and the second one was a little bit better. So I obviously picked the second one, and it served me. I streamed with this a bit. The audio was quite decent, so I'm using the audio direct from that webcam. I bought it for about $20, which is about 2,000 Kenya shillings, and I'll probably leave the link in the description. If I don't, please remind me in the comment section so I can give you that. But this for sure is much better than, and I use it for, well, it's a 2K camera. 2K meaning, I mean, 2160 output camera, and I think that's pretty decent. Plus it's wide angle. You can see how wide it is, and this is it. But then still it wasn't enough, because I do a lot of TV interviews. I am enthusiast for streaming and stuff like this. You can watch our channel doing chess stuff and maybe educational stuff as well. And so I had to upgrade at some point. And actually before I upgraded, I got a gift from my wife, which was the camera, this audio that I'm using. This is a Boya mic, a lavalier mic, and it comes with the two sides. So one for me, one for the other person I am with. And later on, I was able to put some money together and then just buy what is giving us this image. And this is essentially a DSLR camera. It's a mirrorless Sony A6400, which is pretty good. I was looking for the A6100, which is a bit cheaper, but I think it was discontinued, and the A6400 is fantastic. But it's an expensive camera comparatively. It's compared to everything else that you're using, but you can see the value of that difference. It's amazing in terms of video. Autofocus is on point. Right now I've just tapped on my face and it works amazing. Plus I have a microphone in, which is where this microphone is connected, and that's where the audio is coming from, and you can immediately tell the difference. Well, I'm assuming you can tell the difference, so also once again you can mention which audio you feel is better. Clearly the inbuilt audio is terrible. The audio from the webcam, general webcam is the name it comes with, is definitely much better, and you can see it up here on the screen just on top of my laptop. It sits snugly, and that's what we're using. So again, A6400, and then the video from the webcam. Now we are not done because we have to look at the lighting a little bit. And does lighting make a difference in videography? Now, before I say that, if you had an interview, you are interviewing for a job online, or you are teaching or training your lecturer, you really should consider upgrading and move away from, I'll show you what you're moving away from. Definitely you want to move away from this. This is your webcam, this is what you're using. Please move away. It's not good. It's well, I think the laptop guys need to do something, because this has become natural. You need to get a better webcam, better audio. The worst you should do is this, and this is not too expensive in Kenya now. You can get this for $20, and you could test a few. Some are really bad, but this particular one I found is very good. The other one was completely horrible. It's narrow angle. It's sold as wide angle. It is not. And the image quality was poor, audio quality was terrible. So this is way much better than that. I hope it has a newer version. And if you can afford it, then you can get this. And in fact, I recommend that people can come together and go ahead and do that. So these are the 3 side-to-side ones again. And now we are going to check using the best camera, which in my view is the Sony A6400. Again, it's not connected directly. You have to get a focus. So that light goes off. Second light and third light. There we go. So I'm using some light up at the table where I am, and I have some background lights, which of course will probably make it a little bit blown out. If I turn those off, then for sure you're going to have a better image of myself. But clearly, I think lighting makes a difference. And minus lighting, we'll turn them back on actually one at a time. And I've learned something about lighting on YouTube, and what I'm using is a 3-point lighting. So I'm going to turn them back on one at a time. See the difference that makes. I'll start with this. So that's the softer light. It has a bit of a daylight element in it. It's a bit of a mixture. The 5600K and something else is a bit brighter. And that's the fill light. It's meant to be the main, the other one that I'll show you. And the second light I'm turning on, that's the key light. I think it's a bit too bright, but I'm not perfect at it. Again, both of these have, there's a soft box on it. And maybe at the end of this, I'm going to turn this camera around and show you the setup on the other side, so you're able to have a look at that. And then finally, a new trick. So I'm doing 3-point lighting, and I'm going to just turn on what is called the headlight, which then gives an outline. You can see my head is a bit dark, but something you'll notice on all professional video shoots is that somehow they have something like this, which is basically a fillet that gives some definition to the back. And through this pretty cheap setup I put together, the image looks better. What does it look like on the other cameras? And again, just hold on, I'll take this off at some point and show you around what we've set. This is a general webcam. Again, I'll turn off the lights. Headlight is off. Fill light is off. And clear is off. So again, it adjusts. It's a pretty decent camera, to be honest. For a webcam, a definite improvement. This you should get, and then a little bit of lighting in front will definitely improve the quality of your image. So I'm going to turn those on again, so you have a look. That's our key light, and that's our fill light. So just those two alone are pretty good. And because the fill light is in the shot, it's going to give it a little bit of a flare, but then sort of will not be very good for this particular shot. I don't know what would happen if I move it out of view a little bit. I'm not sure. Yeah, there goes. All right, anyway, that's that. So what about the native camera that really you should move away from? Or maybe it's my laptop that is poor, I don't know. It's a pretty decent camera. We can again turn off the lights. That's off. That is off. And that is off. And this is normally what we then be using, and the difference is tremendous. So I hope I've convinced you to completely move away from the camera on the left and the audio on the left. You may move to the one on the extreme right, and if you have budget for it, move to the center one. I'll turn on some of this. This is the headlight coming on. That's headlight only. Then the fill light, headlight and fill light looks pretty decent already. And then I'm going to do the key light, and suddenly even the light in the back becomes an unnecessary item. So lighting, super important. If you have the chance, make sure that you have a bit of lighting, and your interview will look more professional. I mean, you will stand out if you have that chance. Then what next? I want to show you what I've done in terms of setup. I hope my wife will not be mad because it's a bit of a mess up here, but really, yeah, this is how I did it. What will I use? I'll use the general webcam and audio. I can then take off and show you. So that is the key light that I'm using. That is the fill light that I'm using, and if you can see there, that's the Sony A6400 that I'm using, and it's connected through the Elgato Cam Link 4K via some cables, and yeah, that's pretty much. I think you can see that clearly. So this camera is not bad at all. It's a pretty decent camera that you could use for many things, and of course the fact that I can move it around gives it some value, and the audio is not bad, to be honest, from this particular camera. So I'm just going to put that back there. I hope it's where it's supposed to be, and that everything goes according to plan. Yeah, so that's it, guys. I thought I'd show you the setup that we're using right now, and this is where my daughters and I will then sit down and do some streaming. And I think lighting is super important. Invest 2,000 shillings on this webcam, and then a little bit of some lighting. And in fact, the lights in these soft boxes are about the normal bulbs. But you look at the lighting, the only thing is that you have to have this sheet in front of it called the diffuser to make it less harsh, and you can actually reduce the intensity of the light. And I probably want to do that right now with the headlight to make it less, and I think that's really a little bit better. If I turn that off, turn it on again, and then just increase that intensity a little bit or reduce it, it just works fine. Yeah, you don't need that. I mean, you can work it out somehow, and your everything of yours is going to look better. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, comment. Any question you have, put it out there. I may get a chance to respond to you with